Hi everybody, welcome to this week's Ghetto vlog. It's a stat one this week and I'm kicking it off in Leicester. I couldn't come to Leicester without linking up with homie Kev, his brother Jim. Got two CEX stores, Game Shack, Leicester Vintage Toys, loads to be getting on with. Let's go. Okay, it's a very strange store. It's probably the biggest CEX I've ever been in, Leicester CEX. It's huge, but it's barren. There's not much in here. And I asked to see the retro, and you have to go on your phone to see what there is, to then request to see it, so they can go and find it, to then show it you, rather than just being on show, because they don't have enough room for it to be on show, even though it's the biggest one I've ever been in. Very bizarre setup. But anyway, let's have a look to see if there are any PlayStation 3 essentials I still need for the collection. Okay, so finally, after about 3 years, made it out of the first CEX. It was an experience. Even after I spoke to you guys last time, I specified I wanted the essentials discs, and yeah, that was a long conversation. But I'll show you guys everything I picked up when we get back, but I'll show you what Kev's bought, because Kev's got a bag full. What you got, Kev?
We have Vita game.
You like the Vita, don't you?
Yeah,
NHL, Speed Devils. So these are all complete, yeah? Oh, nice. Nice. Rainbow Island Story Bubble Bobble 2. That's a classic.
Yeah,
absolute classic. Jurassic Park?
You don't do Master System, do you?
No, never had one. I played like one that had Alex Kidd in it from the Navy. That's all I've ever, it's my only experience. Aztec Adventure? I don't know if you've got that one.
Best TV series ever made.
That's what we've tuned in for, to see Kev's DVDs.
That's from me.
Another one.
One of the best films ever made. On a PSP.
Do you collect the UMDs?
Yeah, I've got quite a few. They're not on show on the game room.
We're going to be talking about Kev's game room. There's a big update coming in for Kev. Oh, here we go. Maximo Army of Zin. That's a good price. I'm sure I paid about £10 for that. Time Crisis 3. Kessen. Summoner. And the other Maximo game. Just Maximo.
Broken Sword. And Ark.
Ark. Never seen that one. Is that everything?
That's it.
Nice stack to start. Right, on to the next one. Yeah, I've never seen this before. Kabuki. 3D glasses. Not worth it. Okay, second CEX location. I didn't even know this existed. That's why it's always good to hook up with the locals. Wow. And alright, mate. And that was CEX, so on to the next. game that makes me think I'll never get the full set. There's no way I'll be paying that for that. We'll make a vlogger review it, Kev.
Yeah, keep getting asked. Well, you keep getting asked.
Kev's new channel coming soon. What would you call it, Kev? I know what your intro would be.
This is Kev, the owner.
Hello.
Hello. For essential, one here. Got that one. Right, okay, so just finished at Game Shack. Great store. We bought a lot of stuff. Obviously, I'll go through what I picked up once we're back at the 3.0, but we're just at Donuts, finishing a donut and a coffee, and it's time to look at what Kev's bought, because, yeah, you bought quite a few bits, haven't you, Kev?
We have.
We have. That small CEX that we went to, that I didn't know exist, Kev found this. He bought himself a doll. This is Two Worlds on the 360, and I agree, bargain. £12. I mean, you can't really go wrong for 12 quid, right?
I think so.
Especially if you've got all the space like Kev has, right? You've got so much space available in the games room. And then this is all from Game Shack. Okay, so we've got double hits on the Mega Drive. I've got that Psycho pinball. Interesting packaging, aren't they?
You do realise my missus is going to kill me. She's easily
Just stop watching now. Never seen this before. So eats a lot. Vita. Kev loves his Vita. I'm trying not to go down that route. Classic Tasmania. And I'm going to think this
my
is...
second essentials.
Kev's bought 2 essentials today. I mean, started a trend. I should have waited till I complete the set. Jim, you were saying I should have waited, right? I should have mentioned it. But of all the games to pick up, this is the one, right? God of War 3. I was telling Kev, this is one of the best games ever made. So yeah. Resident Evil Revelations, Wolfenstein New Order, the classic Paperboy on the Master System, Saturn game, Resurrection Rise 2, and this is interesting. Is this 360? Prince of Persia, nice collector's edition. Is this the one that's got the
No, it's not sealed.
There was a steelbook with this, you know. I've got the steelbook. Should this have come with a steelbook?
No idea. I thought so. Look at the size of it. I can't fit it.
Because I've got a steelbook that's got that kind of artwork on it. Which is strange. Might have to look into that. If it needs to be, I'll give you that, and you can complete it. Because I don't need it.
Retro Ghetto, yeah.
No, we're going to get back to the retro Ghetto in a bit. So yeah, Kev's bought all that stuff. I got some nice bits, a heavy hitting Super Nintendo game as well. So yeah, we're going to finish the coffee, the donut. We're going to go to Leicester Vintage Toys, and then back to mine. Okay, next stop. Leicester Vintage, an old toy shop. See what we can find in here.
Welcome to Leicester. You're watching Retro Ghetto. You are not ready for this one.
Right, so we're back. We've made it to the 3.0 after a good day's hunting. Good day? Everyone happy with what they got?
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah.
Just another day for Kev, isn't it? Just another day buying video games. I've got Kev here on like a consultancy basis. We're going to get our heads together now and try and figure out what we're doing with the Sega wall, whether there's any improvements we can still make, especially with the old Sign and Co abilities that Kev's got. So yeah, we're going to all put our heads together, take a look around the room, and then hopefully get some plans afoot, and then I'll show you guys what I picked up.
So you can see how much that sticks out, 60mm. If we made that half the size, so it doesn't stick out as much.
Okay, about 3 hours and 17 cups of tea later, I think we've got a plan, a rough plan for quite a lot of changes in here. More changes than I intended to make, but just little details that make a big difference, right? We know what we're doing now with the Sega wall, so I'm probably going to be making another trip to IKEA tomorrow to get the Sega wall completed. Hopefully on this vlog, the Sega wall is going to be done, thanks to Kev's genius idea, but we'll cover that tomorrow as I do it. He's going to help me out getting a light behind Master Chief that I wanted, and spin the camera around, a nice 360 logo to go in there and fill that gap. Also, we're going to get in like a countertop for this, similar to what Kev's got in his room, that has like an LED running around it. I think that's everything, isn't it?
It's only cost me It only cost you.
I don't know where he's got these games from, but I'll be patting him down before he leaves. These are yours. You've got the wrong bundle, Gav. These are yours, mate. But yeah, I think that's everything that we're going to be doing in here. And there's one other thing that I wanted to say. Kev is extending his games room. It was inevitable, right? When's it coming?
Yeah, well, it's got to be. March, end of March, beginning of April, it starts.
So not only am I going to be doing a secondary room tour of Kev's new and improved room, but I'm going to sort of vlog the progress. I'll try and bring you guys like a weekly update. I'll try and visit as often as I can. Failing that, Kev will send me video updates. So yeah, early next year, we'll update on the vlogs and sort of follow that build, because it's going to be a sizable extension, right?
About 3.5, 4 meters, I think.
So yeah, that games room is going to get even better, and I'm looking forward to seeing it, and hopefully you guys are as well. So yeah, man, appreciate your consultancy, and Jim, appreciate Hangs. See you all soon. Okay, and relax. It's been a few hours since I last checked in. Kev and Jim are long gone. I've been busy doing real world stuff, but I can finally sit down and share with you guys what I picked up on what's been a fantastic day. It was great to see Kev and Jim. Leicester's a great place to go hunting as well, right? As you've seen, there's some great shops there. And yeah, I've come back with some really nice bits and pieces. So yeah, I'm going to fly through it real quick. And then I'm going to go over the plans for this week's vlog. There's loads to be getting on with. So yeah, let's get into it. The first stop, as you saw, was the big CEX at Leicester. I can't profess to have had the best experience there. I found the whole setup very strange. I think I outlined it on the video. None of the retros on display. They won't just allow you to look at it. You have to individually ask them for each game. So you have to go on the app to find out what they've got, and then ask if you can see each game, and then they'll go and get it and bring it to you. And you know what it's like a CX when they kind of do that awkward thing where they don't really let you hold it in case you run away with it. And yeah, it was a very, very strange dynamic, really, the way they've got it set up there. But anyway, all that aside, I did find a few things. I got Batman 2, so Lego Batman 2. These are all essentials, right? £3. Resistance 3, which is a game I don't know much about. Never really looked into the Resistance games before. Let me know in the comments if this is one that's worth playing. Obviously, it's one of them. I always see the box, always see the artwork, but never really delved into what these games are all about. And I think the most expensive one that I picked up there was Skate 3. Another franchise I've never put any time into. I don't think I've ever played any skateboarding game that isn't Tony Hawk's. I think with this one, a big part of it was the fact that you could sort of build your own skate parks, if I'm not mistaken. You'll be seeing footage of the gameplay on the video now, so you'll probably know more than myself. I'm just going on what I can see on the back of the box. But again, let me know if this is one worth picking up and playing, or I'm better off to just stick with Tony Hawk's. But yeah, so that was my CEX pickups. And one of the other things I'm really enjoying about the Essentials collection is it isn't costing me much money, because I'm trading in the games if I already own the standard edition. So last week I picked up that Resident Evil Operation Raccoon City. I don't know if that's the title, something like that, you know what I'm talking about. I picked that up last week on Essentials, so I took that with me today, as well as some other stuff to CEX, and as a result, games are costing me like a couple of quid as opposed to like 6, 7, 8. So yeah, very, very cheap, this collection thus far. I'm happy to have found those. I should also mention Kev bought me one. He'd been through his shed. We've dug through Kev's shed once before on this channel. Pirates of the Caribbean, so Lego Pirates of the Caribbean, the video game. Shout out to Kev for that one. And then we headed to Game Shack. Yeah, always loads of great stuff in Game Shack, right? Fantastic inventory there. One of the best shops in terms of like the aesthetics. Just a great place to go and hunt. The first thing I want to show is, we'll stick to the theme, a PlayStation 3 Essentials game, and that is the Mega Drive Ultimate Collection. This is pretty much available on every console ever made at this point, right? But this is a prime example of what I've just been discussing. So this was £6, which I think is the same price as CEX, but I'll get a £4 trade-in for my standard copy. So effectively it's cost me 2 quid. And yeah, I'm just loving how cheap this collection is so far becoming. I know down the road it's probably going to be a bit more expensive once you get to the heavier hitters and the ones that are a bit harder to find, but right now, yeah, I'm just having a lot of fun hunting for these and picking them all up in person. So yeah, that was one that I picked up. The only other one that I think they had at Game Shack was God of War 3, and I let Kev have that one because he's never played God of War 3. I'm trying to encourage him to jump into the God of War franchise. I picked up a couple of Super Nintendo games. Now the first one is the Smurfs. This doesn't have any manual.
with it, unfortunately, but the box is in nice condition. So as you would expect, this one is a platformer. It dropped in 1994 by Infogrames. It looks great. I've looked at some of the gameplay, and visually this reminds me of sort of like the early Mickey Mouse games. I think in particular like Mickey's Mania. It's sort of definitely giving me that kind of vibes, and it looks like it moves at that kind of pace, like a slower moving platformer. I would read the back of the box, but I'll just read a couple of lines for you. Smurf to the rescue. Gargamel has already captured 4 Smurfs. And then it goes on to say, to free them, you'll have to smurf the angry Smurfs and buzz flies before smurfing the mountain by sled. Then smurfing the... I'm not going to carry on. You get the idea. So, yeah, it doesn't give a smurfing whole lot away on the back of the box. But, yeah, always a good day when you pick up a Super Nintendo game. Speaking of which, there was one in the glass cabinet, which I've been hoping to add to my collection for quite some time. It's become quite a heavy hitter. And that is Batman Returns. So this is a 1993 Konami beat-em-up, and as you'll be seeing on screen now, it's got like huge sprites. It's very sort of Final Fight-esque, fantastic visuals. This is a game that I've always heard nothing but positive things about. I've always been intrigued to play it. It's what you want from a Batman game, right? There is another Batman game, I think you already own it on the Super Nintendo, which looks more in the vein of sort of like Mortal Kombat, that kind of stop-motion technology. It's not the best, right? This is the Batman that you want. Konami know what they're doing, and visually they knocked it out of the park. Apparently this one's really fun, and this is definitely one I'm going to be playing soon. And not only that, but look at the artwork, man. That's got to be the best side art of any Super Nintendo game, right? Look at that. Not that you'll be seeing the side, because this is going to be going firmly on the Super Nintendo wall itself. And the best thing about this, I traded the sealed DS games that we found on last week's vlog. So, yeah, basically this game cost me £2. So I will take that every day of the week. And yeah, so I mean, in terms of like trading bits in, trading those in, not only did I have a great day with good people, came home with some fantastic games, I really didn't spend much money at all. So yeah, winner winner, right? Can't really complain about any of that. And yeah, I'll be playing Batman Returns very, very soon. Right, so the rest of the vlog really is going to be me trying to get this room done, this iteration done. And what I mean by that is getting the Super Nintendo wall finished, so we've got to do an extra little shelf piece, and locking in my ideas for the Sega wall. I had a good chat with Kev earlier. I'm not going to take credit for it. This was his idea. I think it's going to be perfect. So we're going to get the Sega wall done. And by the end of this vlog, I want to be able to sit back, breathe that huge sigh of relief that, yeah, the iteration, this iteration of the 3.0 is pretty much done. There are obviously some finishing touches that Kev's going to be helping me out with that we're going to get to in the next few weeks. But generally speaking, yeah, the room's going to be pretty much like locked in, and I, for one, am very, very excited, and yeah, hopefully on this vlog, we should be done. So yeah, and as well as that, there's a mountain of parcels behind this sofa. Sometimes like all the sort of planets align and all the packages arrive at once, and that's what happened now. I've got like 5 or 6 parcels behind the sofa, so there's going to be a mass unboxing at some point on this episode as well. So yeah, loads to be getting on with. We've had a fantastic start to this week. Let's keep it going, and yeah, tonight I'm hoping to get a bit of time to do some gaming as well, so let's get on with it. I'm absolutely loving this game. I decided to try out Infernax. This was part of the video I made where I spent £100 on Switch games. And I'm trying to work my way through all of those games. And this just exceeded all my expectations. I put it on just to see what it was like. That was about 3 hours ago. I should have been in bed a while ago. But yeah, just really enjoying it. I thought wrongly it would feel more budget than it does. It's a very polished game. Whilst it's probably somewhere between 8-bit and 16-bit. It's obviously got that very fresh, modern day, you know, it's obviously running through a HDMI console, but it's probably closer to 8-bit than 16-bit, but very, very good game. It's quite simplistic in its controls, but there's loads to unlock. It's definitely what you would class as a Metroidvania, but the map's not huge, as you can see. You're not going to spend too long trying to second guess where to go and stuff like that. And from what I've looked on Google, it says you can finish this game in 6 hours, so theoretically 1 or 2 sittings, and that's perfect for me. Where I'm at in life, these are the sort of games I enjoy, right? Ones that I can pick up,
play for a couple of hours here and there and get it finished without having to commit too much of myself and time that I don't have to them. And yeah, can't recommend this one highly enough. Very glad I decided to pop this in. Infernax, I think, as I say, there's 6 of these in stock at CEX. It's just £15. Yeah, can't recommend this one enough. I really should get to bed now, and yeah, next time you see me, I'll be at IKEA. That's right, I'm back again in my second home. We've come for the last 3 of the Mosslander shelves that I need to get the Sega wall done. Now, if you're thinking that's not going to be enough, there's quite a twist as to why I'm going to do it. I'll show you guys as and when I'm doing it when we get back, but I was up at the crack of dawn this morning. I'm going to make myself comfortable. This is nice. I was up at the crack of dawn this morning and I got the Super Nintendo wall done. I did have a smaller shelf delivered, so I could now finish the SNES wall. That's completely done, so I'll be showing you that in all its glory as well when we get back. And yeah, today should be the day that this final iteration, this latest iteration of the 3.0 is completed. And yeah, it's going to be a long day, but it should be worth it once I can sit back and everything's done and I can admire the Sega wall and the Super Nintendo wall in all their glory, right? So yeah, let's get on with this. I'm not even stopping for breakfast today, I ain't got time. Let's go. And I am back with a new mat as well. Right, okay, I'm back. Talk to you guys about the plan. So, what I'm going to do is just simply use one of these, but upside down. It's actually something I did before. I implemented it on the 2.0. I think I put my Street Fighter action figure collection on it. But yeah, I think it's just going to help me all around, because what it's going to allow me to do, I'll just demonstrate here, is it's going to be able to stand up the Mega Drive games where you can see the spines, and I'll have plenty of room to grow with my collection. It's not really going to impact the monitor. I'll just bring the monitor out like a couple of centimeters, which is not an issue at all. Ryu's going to have to move, so that's sort of the only casualty, but that was inevitable. The only other option would be to cut around Ryu, and I just don't think that would look very good. I do think I've got another home for Ryu, so we'll get to that later. But yeah, I'm going to put 3 of these shelves in upside down, and like I say, I should then be able to stand all the remaining Mega Drive games spine only across that shelf. And the last thing to do will be arrange the games, because at the moment, apart from the blue spines on the top, these have just been thrown on in no particular order whatsoever. So yeah, that'll be the fun bit, but let's get the shelves on. What's crazy is I never wanted to move either the Red Dead standee or the Ryu standee, and somehow, against all odds, I found a better home for both of them. I'll show you Ryu once we've done this wall, because there's a lot to be getting on with, but yeah, it's in a better place than it's ever been. So yeah, I'm enthused by that. That was the only thing I wasn't sure about, was where Ryu was going. But let's get this wall done. As you can see, old habits die hard. Let's flip this around. Right, okay. This is not going as smoothly as I'd hoped. I should have known. DIY generally never goes as smoothly as you'd hope, especially with my limited skill set, shall we say. But one of the issues that I didn't foresee was that with flipping this shelf upside down, obviously the screws are at a much lower point, so that effectively the centre of gravity, right? Let me try and spin this around. The centre of gravity is lower, so it kind of, when you put it on the wall, it causes the shelf to sort of come out a little bit that way. I've tried to use different wall plugs, and they weren't very good, so we sort of aborted that. I filled them, and I think the next approach will be to drill different holes. So I'll probably move it slightly across from the existing holes, so we can stay away from the holes that are now in the wall. And then yeah, it will also have the benefit of it being higher, closer towards the top of the shelf, i.e. more in the middle, and gives a better, I don't know the exact terminology for it, but I'm sure there's some geometry to it, but basically it will stick to the wall better because the screw will be higher up and it'll be closer to where this design, it was designed to be, right? The right way around. If you've not worked it out by now, I'm not a DIY god, so I don't need all the experts in the comments, honestly. We're going to figure it out. I'm going to make it happen. I'm determined to have the Sega wall done by the close of play today, but there is more onus on these shelves to be more durable, because obviously the other shelves, they just contain, what, 5 or 6 games, whereas with these being stacked the other way on the spines, there's going to be a lot more weight on these shelves. So yeah, these need to be solid, which is why I sort of took it off, and we're going to do it again, and hopefully, fingers crossed, this time it'll work. Okay, we have some progress. A shelf is up. What I ended up doing was putting 5 screws in, so I just sort of went 1 in the middle and then measured equidistant, and I used these sort of plaster fixings. I think previously what I did was over tighten them so they kind of went in a bit, but as I say, eventually I've figured it out, I've got there, 1's up. It probably only gets harder from here in all honesty, because now there's 1 up, the next one obviously has to match up with that one, and we've seen how much of a challenge that is when you're using these shelves correctly, never mind using them upside down and creating your own holes. Plus, there's also the added element of the top of the TV bracket, which I think might slightly encroach on this piece of the next shelf. It's going to be a late night, man, but I'm determined to get this Sega wall done. Right, that's 2 shelves done. Time to cut. Let's get the 3rd one in. Finally, I've got 3 shelves on the wall. It's taken me longer than I would care to admit. Partly because of user error. I've certainly not made the job easy for myself by any stretch, but also there was a lot of complications that went along with putting these on upside down, but also making them sturdy enough to house, I don't know, 20 plus games on each shelf. But I'm not going to bore you with all the trials and tribulations that I've had. Just know that there's a lot of screws in here. But yeah, it don't matter. It's done now. We can move on. I'm going to get some of those white little stickers to cover where the screws are on the underside. But yeah, now I can turn my attention into rearranging the Mega Drive wall, the fun bit, right? Now I can get all my games in the sort of way I want them presented, and finally have every Mega Drive game on the Mega Drive wall, because, as I said earlier, the Super Nintendo wall, the SNES wall itself, is now fully completed. So as you can see, that's what I did earlier. We added that little extra piece of shelf. So now the games go completely from one side of the room right away to the other. And yeah, I couldn't be happier. And when I'm going to be seeing that and the Mega Drive shelf done, I mean, what a view it's going to be, right? But yeah, I need to get tidied up a bit, straightened up, and then we'll get to getting these Mega Drive games on the wall. Sorted. Right, let's get the games on. Okay, so finally, we've got all the Mega Drive games in one place. The shelves worked out perfectly. Perfect gap, I think, to sort of stack that across. Loads of room for growth, which obviously is going to be imperative as I keep building my Mega Drive collection. But yeah, in terms of the top row, it's just blue spines. I've got the exact amount of blue spine games to fill a whole row. Obviously, some of the titles on the best, and then the rest I've just put like iconic stuff. I've got all my shmups in one place. You know, any big hitters that I own, stuff like that. All just, you know, really needed to have their own spot on the wall. There are probably some games down here which could make it to the wall, but to some extent, this is still quite a loose placement of games, simply because there's still a couple of things we need to get changed. And one of the things that still needs to be implemented is, of course, the fantastic Mega Drive Lite. Okay, so me and Kev were discussing this when he was here and we was looking at the game room, amongst many, many other things, some of which I'll keep under my hat for now, but we've decided to change the Lite slightly, just so it fits my shelving better. So, as much as I said there's only 2 of these in existence, I'm going to give this away to one of you guys. So make sure you keep it locked to the channel for details on this one. This is something that we're going to be doing in the not too distant future. We're going to be giving this away. We're going to be tying it in with some other stuff, but yeah, if somebody wants to own one of 3 Mega Drive Lites, then yeah, just make sure you keep it subscribed and locked to the Retro Ghetto, because details about that will be following shortly. But guys, I'm loving it, man. Let me know what you think about the Mega Drive wall. I'm so happy to have the Super Nintendo wall, the Mega Drive wall, room for growth with both, right? Man, it's been a long, long day, but I think it's been worth it. Retro Ghetto. Okay, so if you watched last week's vlog, you may remember I went to a local-ish charity shop, and the lady took my number, which she messaged. She said there's a couple of games, a couple of PlayStation games. Also, a couple of people rightly commented, so thank you for that, on last week's video, saying that I missed a copy of FIFA 17 on the Xbox 360. It's like £3 trade-in, so we're going to go and find out what they've got and hopefully grab that copy of FIFA as well. Okay, so that went quite well. Like I said, I got a message from the charity shop about a couple of games. This was one of them I decided to pick up. Never heard of this game, didn't even know it existed. They only charge £1 for a game in there, and it's £2 trade-in, so yeah, I'll double my money on that. The one that I actually went back for, everyone reminded me in the comments last week that I missed it. Thank you very much to everyone that commented. It's actually £4 trade-in now, not the £3 that I thought it was. So yeah, that's well worth picking up. And then I went to my more local charity shop on the way back from there, and as you saw, there was a nice little stack of games coming. Modern Warfare 3, this is like £3 or £4 trade-in now. Skate, which I believe is £4 trade-in. Skate 3, not one that you see too often, so yeah, decent find. And like buses, they always come along at once. FIFA 17, 2 copies of that in the same day. So what, I've spent £5, and I think there's roughly £20 or so trading here at CEX, so yeah, not too shabby at all. Okay, and relax. After what has been a mad few days, I can finally sit down, open some parcels, and yeah, take a breath, because yeah, it's been manic, man. But right, let's get into it. I did say to you guys at the start of this vlog, it seems like years ago now, I've got a few parcels to open. There is one other one, a really large parcel. I'm going to save that for next week, because yeah, I need to do a little bit of research about the things that are in it. I've got quite a lot to say about it, so yeah, we'll have to wait for that one, but there's loads here to be opening. So yeah, I don't know what all of these are. We're going to start with the one that's on top of the pile, I guess. Makes sense, right? Got my trusty knife. If I sound a bit odd, or there's any sniffling, you have to bear with me. I've come down with the old man flu. I'm blaming NEC Toy Fair, right? It was such a packed event. I reckon I've caught the lurgy from some toy collector or other. Right, okay, so what have we got here? Now, we've got a note, first of all. A typed note. This is from Alex. So Alex has said, thank you for all the retro content you make. The time and effort you put in really shows. Thank you, Alex. I look forward to your uploads every week and progress you make on your collection. Following on from your latest collection venture, I'm happy to send you these 2 Essentials titles I have spare from my own collecting. As a fellow mid-30s gamer with a 4-year-old and a 6-month-old, wow. Alex has definitely got his hands full. I just hope they can enjoy the games room with me in the future like your little man does with you. All the best, Alex. Bless you, Alex, man. That's very kind of you. I appreciate that. So yeah, Alex has sent a couple of Essentials. Now, what I would say is, look, I never sort of ask for anybody to send me anything, right? Unless it's Lego minifigures. Unless you got any army, Romans knocking about for my army. No, but in all seriousness, I never sort of ask for anybody to send me anything in. I know that with like this Essentials collection, these games are cheap, they're readily available, and a lot of people don't want them in their collection, right? They're kind of happy to get rid of those red spines if you're not collecting them like I am. So again, I'm not asking people to send them to me.
I don't want to get through this collection in a hurry because I'm enjoying going out and finding them in person, right? And once I've completed this collection, I'll have to find something else to feed my collecting addiction. But if people do want to send them, send it with a note. Send me something that I can put inside it. I just think it'd be nice for me to look back on one day that when I've got this full set, if I crack one open and there's a note inside it from a viewer of the channel, and you know, they say something nice like Alex has done, talking about his kids and that kind of thing. So yeah, if you do want to send an essential in, don't do it. But if you do, send it with a note, and yeah, I just think it'd be nice to look back on down the line. But anyway, enough sentimentality. Let's get back to the game, shall we? Let's see what we've got here. What Alex has very kindly sent. So we've got Sonic Sega All-Stars Racing. I always think it's a weird title because it's actually Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing. Sure, they could have simplified that, right? Maybe Sonic's Sega All-Star Race. Anyway, digressing, right? Apparently this is a really fun kart racer. I've not really ever put any time into it that I can remember. And then Alex has also sent Star Wars The Complete Saga. So what I shall be doing is putting this note in here, and then I'll know, as I say, that these are from Alex when we look back in years to come. But yeah, massive shout out Alex, much appreciated, and congratulations again on the little one, 6 months old. It's going to be me before long, right? Not long to go now, guys, a few weeks. And then yeah, mini Ghetto will be on the scene. But right, this one, this was an eBay purchase that I made. These just never come up. Not ones that I don't already have in my collection anyway. Very rare, and sometimes they pop up at like ridiculous, extortionate prices. But this one came up. This is one of them ones, right, where I love it when this happens. You know when somebody has something on as an opening bid or best offer, and you make an offer, they reject it. So you make your best offer, and they reject it. You think, okay. So then you kind of put in a bid at the opening bid, and then no one else bids, and that opening bid was less than the offer you made. I just always feel like, yeah, should have took the offer. That's what happened with this. I think I got this for like £9 posted or something. So you'll be seeing now, look, it's one of the Kid Robot Street Fighter Minis. Love these things, but as I say, it's very rare that I find ones that I don't already own. There's a couple of like chase variants and stuff. This is one of them. I think they had this sort of underpriced, and maybe they could have worded it better. It could have said like chase variant or whatever, because you'll see the two ones down here that are blacked out with question marks. It's actually one of those. I think I own all of the others. Right, anyway, let's get into it. It is Goken, however you want to say it. Yeah, just one that I'd never seen before. Never seen it listed on eBay. And as you can see on the back of the box, it's that one there. Because all the others, it sort of gives you how likely you are to find them, like 2 out of 20, 1 out of 20, etc. And then those, it doesn't even tell you, just question marks. So we don't know how many of these are out there or how likely you are to find them, but yeah, very, very happy to finally be adding another Street Fighter Mini to my Street Fighter Mini shelf. It's been a long time. There's really not many of these things that I need. I'd love for Kid Robot to release another line of these. We'll put him there so we can see him. I'd love Kid Robot to release another line, but it's been a long time, I think, since the last series, so I don't think that's looking very likely. But yeah, very, very happy with that. Okay, and then this was sent to me by a Ghetto Gang member. Shout out to the Ghetto Gang. There will be a link in the description below if anybody wants to get involved, join the Ghetto Gang. Yeah, it's just a fantastic community. Always sharing things on there. And I'm thinking about setting up a, what do the kids call it? I can't remember what they're called, guys. I'm an old man. I'll put it on the screen now. I'm thinking about getting one of them set up anyway. It's basically a place where Ghetto Gang members will be able to chat, share like their own games rooms, images, and just sort of discuss and chat about all things collecting. So yeah, hopefully I'll be getting that set up real soon, but based on the fact that I can't even remember what it's called right now, yeah, it says a lot about me and modern technology, I think. Right, okay, so this came from David. Shout out to David. So I knew that David reached out to me and he said he had this magazine for me. Hi mate, hope this reaches you safely. Seen you talking about... Okay, so that must be about something else that we've got in here. Cheers for all the great retro content. It's really helped me out with my own collecting. Regards, David. Much appreciated, David. Top man. And that's what it's all about. And that's what we're trying to do at the Ghetto Gang, is just to help fellow collectors out. I always try and post on there like games that have come into stock at CEX, because I've got so many alerts set up. Games that I think will go up in value. Games that I've been playing. All that kind of stuff. So this is what David reached out to me about. He said he had a copy of Nintendo Power and would I like it? And I said, hell yeah, I'd like it, because honestly, I think this is the only Nintendo Power magazine I've ever had in my hands. It's one of them things that I always see like American channels talking about. They've always intrigued me, but my childhood, I grew up with either, if my mum was feeling flush at the time, the official PlayStation magazine, which was a massive £5. And I'm not saying that like taking the mick. £5 at the time was a massive amount to spend on a magazine. The fact it came with a demo though was enough to pull you in if you're ever lucky. If your mum was affluent enough to pick you up at an official PlayStation magazine. But I was more on the MVG, I think it was. I think MVG would stand for what? Movies, videos and games? Something like that. And that was like on the lower end of the price scale. And it was a great magazine. I used to love reading through that. I mean, I remember it being like very 90s, very sort of like slang in the way that it was written. Really enjoyed that magazine. And that's the one that I sort of gravitated towards. But yeah, never had a Nintendo Power. I'm surprised by how thick these are actually. So this is the Batman Returns one, which is quite apt, right? Given that we picked up that Batman game earlier on the episode. And then I think, from the conversation I had with David, the poster's in here. Because I know that all of these Nintendo Powers come with a poster, right? And look at that. This is like fate. I've opened this up. And look, it's like the sort of the playthrough guide of Batman Returns. Yeah, man. All the different scenes. Oh, here's the poster, yeah. Okay, so the way it is, right, so one side of the poster is the Batman Returns game. And then the other side is the actual poster itself, which is Bubsy. Look at that artwork. Love that. If I had room in the games room, I'd be displaying that. I love these Nintendo Power magazines and the post. I say I love the magazines. I love the posters. I've seen quite a few of them. The artwork's always fantastic. And yeah, I think it'd be great because they're all the same sort of shape and size to have them displayed in a games room. Not my games room, because I don't have the room, but you know, in a games room. And yeah, and just there's something magical about looking at old magazines, seeing the old adverts in it, and that old kind of, even the way it was written, right? People kind of spoke and typed differently in this, like the 90s. Yeah, I'm gonna enjoy flicking through here. I mean, look at that. Get yourself a Team Kawasaki jacket. Massive shout out to David for that one. And then there is something else in here. This is what he must have alluded to in his note. From the makers of Ong Bak and Warrior King, chocolate. Never heard of this one. More brutal than Ong Bak, literally jaw-dropping. And he said in his note, saw you recently talking about Tony Jaa's Ong Bak. So, it's one of my favourite martial arts movies. The girl is pretty much the female Tony Jaa. Okay, it's a big hype. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. When I finally get to watch Ong Bak again. Big Steph, if you're watching, get yourself here for a movie night. And I can follow this up with chocolate. Never heard of this one. But on the recommendation of David, I'll be giving this a watch. So massive thank you, sir. Let me know in the comments if you've ever watched Chocolate. Yeah, man. I'm looking forward to flicking through that. Okay, so this is the last parcel, I believe. Okay, this was Andy. Andy reached out to me and he said he had a PS3 Essentials game that he wanted to send me. But I don't know, it seems like a big box for a PS3 Essentials game. Either he's put something else in here or he's been more careful than he needed to with the packaging. Right, okay. So there's a few bits and bobs in here by the looks of it. Andy, what a guy. Okay. Hi Callum, hope you and the family are doing great. We are doing great. I don't really do too many updates in terms of like how Mrs. RG is getting on, right? I separate sort of personal family side to this kind of side. But yeah, pregnancy's been like a lot of pregnancies. It's had its ups and downs, but we're all good. Everything's good. And yeah, we're all just ready now for little one's arrival. I say we're ready. I've still got another bedroom to finish decorating. But anyway, here's just a few games to help with the Essentials collection. couldn't leave Little Man out, so I put some little wrestlers in for him. He'll be made up with that. We're actually going to Stafford Toy Fair. The day this vlog drops on the Sunday, me and Little Man will be at Stafford Toy Fair. I just wanted another day out with him, like just me and him, father-son time, especially before Mini Ghetto gets here. So yeah, all that footage of Stafford Toy Fair will be on a video next week. They were my lads when he was the same age. Have a great week. P.S. Hope the salt and pepper shakers didn't smash in transit. Andy. Right, well, shout out to Andy. So apparently there's salt and pepper shakers in here, amongst other things. Right, so here's the PS3 Essential. He only told me he was sending me one. Right, okay. Let's look what's in here then. Right, okay, so we've got the mini wrestlers. These will be going to Little Man. What I'm going to do is strategically take these with me to Stafford, right? And then if he's struggling to find something, or he's just picking up rubbish that I know he doesn't going to have any interest in 24 hours time, I can pull out the little mini wrestlers out of my pocket, tell him we found them. But yeah, appreciate that, Andy, mate. What else is in here? A Minecraft pen. Never have enough pens. And these must be the salt and pepper shakers. Oh, they're like Pac-Man ghosts. Yeah, man, I'll probably put these on display in here because I'm not going to lie to you, Andy. Mrs. RG is not going to want these in the kitchen. But yeah, these will make a nice little display. I could actually put these on my arcade 1-up, which is now in the conservatory. I'm slowly making my way from the games room into the house, right? The Pac-Man machine's in the conservatory. And slowly start taking over. So yeah, massive shout out for them. And yeah, the games. I'm sure he just sent me one game. Right, okay. Let's dive into these then. Yeah, so I'm sure he said to me, I've got Resident Evil 5, and I said, if you want to send it, I appreciate it. But then there's more in here. Okay, so we've got Resident Evil 5, as I say. Pro Evolution Soccer 2015. Another collection I'm thinking about is Pro Evo games, you know what I mean? I love them. I grew up on them. I'd never turned down a Pro Evo game. I don't think I've ever seen this version. Not that I've been looking out for Essentials prior to collecting for them, but I don't remember ever seeing Pro Evolution Soccer 2015 as an Essential. Yeah, nice one. Batman Arkham Asylum Game of the Year Edition. Do I have this one? I'm not sure at this point. And Mega Drive Ultimate Collection. Oh man, I wish I'd opened this box earlier. I picked this up at Game Shack this week on the game hunt you guys have seen. I'll drop Andy a message about that, let him know that's one I've already got. But Andy, what a guy, man. Listen, like I said, I appreciate that people want to help out with the collection. If you are helping out, include a note that I can put with it. However, I don't want to finish these too soon, man, because yeah, there's only 200 of them. And like I say, if I get through this collection, then I'm going to have to find something else to collect and feed my collecting habit. But with all that being said, it is much appreciated. And there's a whole other raft of PS3 Essentials here to be added to that collection. And yeah, man, I think that's all the parcels for this week. As I say, we're going to be opening that big one on next week's vlog. Yeah, man. Okay, guys, I think that's going to do it for another Ghetto vlog. It's been a mad week, man. It's just been one of them non-stop weeks. Be nice to actually sit down now and jump back on Infernax and try and relax a bit. And like I say, heading out to Stafford County Toy Fair with Little Man. So looking forward to a nice chilled day there. And I'll be bringing you the footage of that fair in the non-too-distant future. And the only thing I wanted to show that I forgot was Ryu. I said I found a perfect home for him. And I do still need to take the axe off here, but Ryu is basically going to sit perfectly half on the edge of this shelf and half on the wall where the door is. Yeah, it's going to look perfect there. We'll do that properly next week. But speaking of the game room, I feel like we're almost there. Like the weight can come off my shoulders, right? Finally having that Mega Drive wall set up. Was almost, looking at it now, it makes it almost worth that day's effort it took to put 3 shelves up. But yeah, just delighted with the view, right, of having Super Nintendo and Sega. And what I'm thinking about doing is a room tour. It's one of them, it's a weird one, right? Because obviously, the people that watch the vlogs, you've seen almost every inch of this room, bar a couple of things that I'll be implementing prior to a room tour. But I want to do it for myself as much as anybody else. I feel like this is the third iteration now. As I say, the first one when I made my room tour pretty much a year ago now was getting everything in this room after I built it. And then Theo kind of came along and he filmed what was the second iteration, was me getting everything locked in, getting it all how I wanted it. And now having to make these big changes that started way, what's the word? Weeks ago was probably a better word, when I did the daily vlogs. I actually thought I'd get all this done in a week. But yeah, those changes that we implemented then at the start of those daily vlogs have now come to a close, right? So the Sega wall, the Xbox area, everything else moving around. And it very much feels like not only the third iteration, but like this is it, this is my space. I'm delighted with the room. I think any more now in terms of trying to create more space, if you like, or places to put stuff would be overkill. I think I've found the perfect balance between having lots of places to put my stuff, but it doesn't feel too crowded. It still feels like a nice room to be in. So yeah, I kind of want to just do it for myself. I kind of want to be able to look back on the different milestones, and it's definitely a milestone in terms of my life, right? Especially with mini Ghetto coming. So yeah, it's something that I think I want to document, and yeah, so there's probably going to be a room tour coming real soon. So again, let me know in the comments what you think about that. But as always, a massive shout out to everyone that's taken the time to watch this vlog. It's been another great week. Loved the hangs with Jim and Kev. Found some great stuff, and then yeah, as I say, subsequently getting all the changes implemented. And yeah, man, just blessings on blessings. We keep rolling on. Before I get out of here, I want to give a shout out to Jackie, to Isla, and give a massive get well soon to Sarah. And yeah, play your games, keep it retro. I'm gonna see you all real soon. Take care.
Retro Ghetto.
Lock into the retro ghetto.